Alright, today I'm replacing the front part of the emergency brake on this beautiful Ford E-150 from 1993. Well, the long story short is that the mechanism, the ratcheting mechanism, this one, stopped working, and it wasn't tensioning the brake cable at all. I had tried some techniques to make it so that the brake cable was more tensioned initially, and then the ratcheting system wasn't working. So I got this one from a used auto parts place, and it seems like it'll do what I want it to do. The previous one is over here, and it's kind of strange because the old one has a bunch of parts on it which the new one doesn't, but it doesn't seem like those parts are necessary. There's like weird toothed gears on the inside of this, whereas with the one I got from the used auto parts place, it just has one like ratcheting gear like part of it which is responsible for this noise and action. And with this one, I can very easily visually see that the brake cable goes in there. There's a little hole for it and a little housing for the brake cable. And then I can visually really easily see that when you press down on it, it ratchets forward. Whereas with the other older one, this part that the brake cable goes in seems to be spring loaded, and the spring has gone awry, so this sits like within the housing instead of in an easily accessible place. But you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so we'll see if my assumptions are correct. So this is a close-up of the two brakes. The one on the right is the old one that is broken, the one on the left is the new one. Thought it might be nice to lay them out on a table and let you guys see exactly what I'm talking about. Right there is where the new brake cable will go in, and you can see on the older one that entire part is just like, I don't know, it's like slipped inside of the housing of this emergency brake ratcheting system thing. And you can see with this one, it has not slipped into there, and yeah. Also, I got a new brake cable, a new front part of the emergency brake cable, which is this one right here, and that's what I'm going to be installing first. Alright, so I kind of skipped over a bunch of parts, but I'm going to try to do the best I can. And actually, first of all, I'm going to grab, this guy. This is a light I made out of some laptop battery cells and a charging circuit, so you can charge it via USB. It's a really good work light, so I'm going to be using that to show you what's going on around the dark parts of this operation. So, as you can see, this is the emergency brake, and under here are the somewhat difficult to access nuts. Let me put the macro on. Right there is one of them. Then there's one down there, and then there's one way up there, which I don't know if you can see with this, but in my model Ford, you have to remove this. I'm only assuming it's some kind of circuitry for the computer system, but you have to slip it off like that. You just push it up and then slide it around. So I first put the emergency brake cable into here, and as you saw in the last video when I was showing you this ratcheting mechanism, there's a little hole that the tip of the emergency brake cable goes in, and then the cable goes down through my rusted out floor and around here. And this part was where it was kind of hard, because once I got the end of the breaker, the end of the emergency brake into this coupler, the tension was very, very high. So in order to get this part through the hole there, I really had to pull back to slide the cable around there, and then this, I wish I knew the word for it, and then that part slides in the bigger hole. And yeah, now I'm gonna test it and hopefully it worked, because this has been a rather large problem for a while. So let's see. All right. So I'm just gonna test to see if the ratcheting mechanism works and if it actually feels like the emergency brake's getting tense. If it doesn't feel like it's getting tense at all, then it won't work, but okay. Oh yeah, I can actually hear it back there tensing up, and that felt quite tense. So now I'm just gonna put the car in neutral. Yeah. And turn off the fan, and you can we'll look at the floor. Hey, it stopped us. What a treat.